Hello and welcome to today's video about the basic concepts of aerodynamics. If you are new to my channel, I make educational videos related to science and how things work every week. And also a quick reminder to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. So let's get started with today's video. Aerodynamics is the study of motion in air. It is the answer for how things flies like an airplane. So in this video, we are going to learn the basic concepts of aerodynamics. So the first and most important concept is relative wind. For anything to fly in air, there must be air molecules that are opposite to the direction of the object. So that's what relative wind is. Relative wind is the direction of movement of wind relative or in relation to the aircraft. The relative wind is always opposite to the movement of the aircraft. The second concept we are going to be talking about is the aerofoil. An aerofoil is used to describe the cross-section of the wing from the side of the aircraft. That is, if you were looking at it from the tip of the wing. The aerofoil creates aerodynamic forces. The third concept we are going to be talking about is the angle of attack. Before we learn what angle of attack is, we need to learn few other concepts related to it. The first concept is the mean camber line. When we see an aerofoil and we draw a line precisely into half from the front to the back, that line is called the mean camber line. The point where the mean camber line starts is called the leading edge and the other end is called the trailing edge. When we connect the leading edge to the trailing edge, we get a line which is called the chord line. So the angle of attack is the angle between the chord line and the relative airflow. The next concept is a very important one and probably the only factor because of which objects can fly in the air, and that is lift. In the year 1738, Daniel Bernoulli, who was a Dutch mathematician, published a thesis on lift with an equation which is now called the Bernoullis Equation. But later, many people proved the thesis wrong because it violated Newton's second law of motion. Bernoulli stated that the pressure difference on top and bottom of the wing causes the wing to lift, but this is completely false. The actual reason is that lift is generated by turning a fluid. The fluid in this case is air. So when air hits the aerofoil, it splits up. The air which flows on the top has a greater distance to cover than the air flowing at the bottom of the aerofoil. Also, the air flowing at the top of the aircraft travels faster than the air flowing below the airfoil. This was stated by Bernoulli and this aspect of his theory was correct. You can see that in this illustration. As air leaves the wing of the aircraft, the air leaves in a downward direction because of this curve. Similarly, the air flowing below the aerofoil also gets deflected downwards because of this curve. It is this deflection or turning of air which causes lift. Since lift is directly proportional to the air molecules colliding with the wind, more air molecules must collide with the wing so that the aircraft can generate more lift. This can be done by increasing the speed of the aircraft because once the speed increases, more air molecules can collide and cause more lift. That's the reason why airplanes increase their speed before takeoff. Flaps can also be used to generate lift. The flaps are an essential tool in the aircraft as they also help to create drag while the aircraft is landing. The flaps help the air to get deflected at a much precise and very sharp angles, thus causing more lift. In the recent years, the heavy aircrafts like the C-17 Global Master and the other A380s use what is called the slotted wing flaps. These flaps have a small gap between the wings which allows more air to pass through the wing, which causes more lift. While landing, there are devices in the aircraft called spoilers which are used to deflect air to the top, thus eliminating the lift factor. So these were a few basic concepts of aerodynamics. In the second part, we will learn about drag, the Coanda effect and the vortex shedding. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you have learned something new via this video. If you haven't understood any of the concepts, feel free to put them in the comment section or in my email ID. Lastly, don't forget to like this video and even subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.